Good morning. I sort of got thrown off my game plan last night when the video that I was going to upload from Sue's message at the New Way from Sunday, the disc that they gave me was blank, and the cameraman had transferred the material from the disc to his hard drive. So now it has to be sent to me via email, and that won't happen until sometime today. So hopefully I'll have that tomorrow and be able to get back to the plan. I say that because at the class last night it was announced that it would be up on my YouTube channel today. Well, it's not going to be. So those of you that were looking for it, it'll be tomorrow, God willing. So I was thrown that curve and have to go back to creating a new video on a subject other than what I was planning on. And I had plans for the next few days and what I was going to be talking about, which is not always the case, but it is currently. Today I'm going to title what I'm talking about Reflections, Questions, Comments, Advice. And I've been doing a lot of reflecting, and so have other people, and asking questions and making comments, and some have been giving me advice. Even got phone calls, personal emails, people that just talk to me. And I don't like the way this looks, but I'll take my necklace off because I don't like that thing hanging across my neck like that. Oh, when I started these videos, I promised myself that no matter what happens, I'm going to continue and I'm going to tell the truth. My truth. What I'm feeling, what's going on with me. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to Hollywoodize the whole thing. I'm not going to put on an image and put on some kind of a face that I'm something other than what I am. I'm convinced that real spirituality never does that. Real spirituality is exactly that. Real, raw, true, vulnerable. That's what I see it as. If you don't see it that way, be in your own world. This is my world that you're in right now, or you wouldn't be listening. Anyway, Tut's message this morning really hit home. I mean, it's amazing how sometimes it just happens that way. And I'm going to start with that comment, which had nothing to do with any of my previous videos. It's something that he sends to everybody. Mike Dooley sends the Tut messages to everybody. I've shared some of them with you before. Here's his question. Are you ready to consider that what you used to consider is now inconsiderable, Ron? Like that you're as loved for your fears as you are for your courage. That's progress, the universe. P.S. I hereby consider you enlightened, Ron. Not that I didn't before. I like that and I needed it. An email that I received from one of my friends, actually, and I wish people would send me their comments on Facebook or YouTube so that others can see them and see the comments that I sometimes respond. I can't always respond to everyone. I don't have the time, but I do respond to those that I can, or those that really move me sometimes. Anyway, she wrote, last week I was telling my CPA about you, someone who is more friend than anything else, and I value his opinion. He helped me to see the importance in what you do. In an attempt to simplify, he explained to me that you are a superhero like Robin Hood, but on the opposite side. Question 1. Is this how you see yourself? If you were to simplify what you stand for and just use the concrete physical plane interactions, the matrix, without the who we really are spiritual concept. All right, here's my answer. It's almost impossible for me to see anything I am or do apart from the spiritual concepts that have been embedded in me from my earliest recollections. It has showed up in my deepest desire for justice and to elevate the underdog, to level the playing field, so to speak. Unlike Robin Hood, I do not wish to steal from the rich and give to the poor. I'd like to awaken the abused inner child within the elite ones, such that they awaken to their own potential to create a better world based on sharing and cooperation, love, rather than control, fear. Short of that, there needs to be a global realignment of wealth. And I'm helping, I hope, to awaken that awareness in people. By whatever means, that will happen as I see it. Question 2. What are you pushing against in the courts? My response: their refusal to listen, to really hear what I'm saying. Ultimately, though, I just want to be left alone. That's my selfish wish that the universe seems not to allow. I guess my role is larger than I would like it to be. And as I arranged comments this morning, the next comment I'm going to share, and I'm not putting names in any of these, so please, if I'm not, don't feel bad because I'm leaving out who it came from. Except for the Tut one, none of the rest of them are named. A quote: "A nail that sticks out gets hammered, but knowing the truth is worth all the pain." Surely, sometimes I feel like I'm getting hammered. But I guess when I look back at this, it's going to be worth all the pain and the anguish. Another comment: "Yes, if I was going into battle, I would want you at my side. Better yet, in front of me. I'm not a fighter. I'm so glad you are. Keep going. I adore you." Another comment: "You touch people's hearts, Ron. You should be on mainstream TV. Thank you for being who you are." Another comment: "Wow, I just love your message, Ron. I admire you for standing up to the beast. Funny, today's message from Joyce Meyer was also about the beast and standing up to him. I love how the universe works. I have had to stand up for my rights a lot throughout my life, and it has been tough, but no one can take my peace any longer. I am with you on that. God bless you, Ron. Love you." Another comment: "The one thing the last 12 months has taught me through life is that standing up for your rights or beliefs doesn't have to be done with aggression or with an aggressive spirit. It can be done with peaceful iron will based on unconditional love. I refuse to lose my peace and center of balance anymore." And I will comment on that comment. Ultimately, I will not lose my balance either. You'll see. You'll see. As this thing progresses and as I share day by day, you'll see. Watch. You'll see the balance is there. I'm just showing the part that a lot of people have been well trained not to show and not to own and admit. The truth that we want to hide because it's not popular, or we think we're not going to be loved if we tell the truth. I'm breaking that paradigm in front of you, for you, so that you can break it in your own life, each of you. Back to the comments from messages that I've been receiving. "I met the beast in its lair a few months ago when I was up at court in front of a judge being made bankrupt and stripped of everything I'd worked for all my life. At the time, it was a traumatic experience, but only because I was caught up in that artificial materialistic world and a slave to it. They took it all away and inadvertently set me free. I realized how superficial most things in my life had been up until that point. Life changed for the better, and my spiritual growth began. Yes, that is how it works. But not everybody is caught up in material things. People that know me, as I responded to this writer, people that know me would know that I'm not at all caught up in material things. I'm a giver, and I serve the community around me, and I've been doing it day in and day out, week in and week out, month in and month out, year in and year out for a very long time. I do not seek for myself. I do not ask for things for myself. And I have learned to live simply. If I don't have money for something, I simply don't get it. I live within my means. Anyway, that's my comment on the materialistic comment. Another one. I have heard many spiritual and New Age people say that this beast system, this illegal criminal system we are living in, is not part of their reality. Woo! I love this one. That it is illusion. Okay. Unfortunately, this segment of the population is resisting the truth of the society that we have all created and that we all are participating in, whether we take our blinders off to it or not. Oh, I like that comment. Because so many of my spiritual friends, and me most of my life, have wanted to deny and not really own the negative part of ourself and of our world. We've tried to turn our backs on it. I've been not turning my back on it for a good while, but I can remember times in my earlier life when that was the way that I thought it had to be. God forbid that anybody should ever know my deepest, darkest secrets and my worst possible thoughts. God forbid that anybody would find out. I mean, I had to put on that false face, that artificial smile, that plastic image. I had to do that because that was the only way that I could be acceptable in my own eyes to present to the world. And I want to jettison that concept. I don't live that way anymore, and I'm encouraging you, if that's the way you're living, stop it. Get off that thing. It doesn't work. Be real. Risk being you. Okay? My advice. Okay. All right, another one about the same concept. Interesting point about the spiritual people who say this is all an illusion. I don't agree with that, because manifestation of source is temporary reality. Amen. And the world we live in is universe itself. If we say it is not important, then where is the life that is important? Also, not standing up for your rights also has its consequences, just like taking action has. It is actually the same. The only difference is the latter has more chance to positive consequences. Good insight. You can see I pay attention to these things. I don't always share them on video like I'm doing today, and I didn't know I was going to do this. One other thing was a phone call that I got from a friend. And she told me to get a lawyer, that this whole thing has shifted me off center, off my message. And I really need to get a lawyer, and I need to get the lawyer to file an injunction to stop the court from, from doing its own order, from following its own order. There's a court order to auction my house. I mean, that's a court order as I read it. As I understand it, it's a court order. Now, if I were to go and get a lawyer, I'm saying this. I'm saying I'm incompetent, and what I've done doesn't mean anything. I'm also giving the court jurisdiction over me, which I have worked feverishly to let the court understand that it has no jurisdiction, it has no authority over me. There's no way I'm going to go this lawyer route of getting a lawyer, of hiring a lawyer to represent me. Now, if there's a lawyer out there and you are like me, you're tired of the system that you're in, and you want to make positive changes, and you want to volunteer to stand with me in this, by my side, I'm not going to tell you no. I'm going to accept your friendship and your service to me. But I'm not asking for that. I'm not seeking that. I am not incompetent, and I have done my homework, and I know where I stand in the law, and I know that the court itself is breaking its own law. And I know that police, if they try to enforce the court order, are breaking their own oaths of office. And I've held the lawyers, and I've held the police, and I've held the judges, and I've held the politicians in a place, and when I look at them through the eyes of my spirit, through the eyes of my higher self, all I see is another child of God doing the best they can based on what they believe to be true. And therefore I cannot condemn, not even those that do such dastardly deeds. I cannot condemn, because I can see the innocence even in those that live their lives the way they're living them. Spirit enables me to see through the eyes of love through this whole process. Do I like having to go through it? Hell no, I don't. I'd give anything just to be left alone and to be able to live in peace. But we, all of us, you and I, we have a battle to fight. And it's not a battle against people. It's a battle against a false idea that there is lack and that we are separate from one another. That is the paradigm that we are busting through. We are breaking through the paradigm of separation. And it's so important. So in closing, I want to thank each of you, not just those that I shared your comment or question, but I thank each of you that takes time to share with me. I don't always get to reply back. I don't always have the time to do that. But I appreciate, and I do read everything that somebody sends me. I do read it. So far, that's the truth. I'm not going to say it's always going to be the truth, but so far it is the truth. And so I've gone way over again today. But I hope that something that I've shared and something that I've said moves you to be more yourself than you've ever been willing to be before. Because that's what breaks the paradigm of separation. It is based on lies, because we're not separate. We are one. It doesn't matter the role we're playing. We are all still one. I love you, and I'm going to continue to love you. Yes, you too, lawyers, judges, politicians, bankers, corporate CEOs, people of the leaders, people that are leaders in the matrix. Yes, I'm sending love to you too, because in your essence, you are innocent. But what you're doing isn't. And I'm going to leave you with that. God bless you. Thank you.